I'm telling y'all, Criminal Minds never gets old. Over the last 17 years, the BAU has faced off against countless psychos and criminal masterminds, but some were way more twisted than others. One of the craziest and my personal favorite offender from the show is Mr. Scratch, aka Peter Lewis. This man was a literal monster who not only mind tortured people into killing their loved ones, framing them for murder, but he also terrorized the FBI for nearly 4 years. Lewis first appeared in one of my favorite episodes from season 10 titled Mr. Scratch. The episode begins with a man named Larry Murrin recounting his understanding of his wife's murder to Hotch. It's a story that involves burning sage and a literal Slenderman type monster. And as unbelievable as it sounds, it's cool that this is one of the only episodes of Criminal Minds that dealt with supernatural forces. It's more mind torture and horror, as each victim literally relives a hugely traumatic, unreal experience.
I didn't do it. I swear to God, it is exactly what happened.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Marin, what happened was you took a kitchen knife and you stabbed your wife to death.
No.
Neighbors heard the screaming and they called 911. And when the police arrived, they found you still on the bed holding the knife.
I didn't do that.
You've been scratching yourself, Mr. Marin. Are you aware of that? Open your shirt and you will see why.
That's from the shadow monster.
No, that's from your wife. Forensics matched your skin under her fingernails as she fought to keep you from killing her.
It's definitely the creepiest, most gritty episode of season 10, and I love the character of Peter Lewis. He was highly intelligent, employed by the NSA, he was able to hack Quantico, and he never actually killed anyone. That's what's interesting about him from other offenders we've seen on the show. He got his victims to do it themselves. But the climax of this episode is when the team finds his whereabouts and Hotch goes to confront him alone. Which honestly, still to this day, I think that's kind of dumb. Like, why would you go there by yourself? No backup or nothing. But when he gets there, he finds Peter's last victim. And it coincides with the rest of this episode, how creepy it is.
Dr. Regan!
It's open. Come in.
Are you all right?
Agent Hotchner? I got Agent Rossi's message.
Doctor, you're in danger. You need to leave the house.
I understand. I'm in the study. I'm so glad you're here. You need to see this. He wants you to see this.
No!
Here's where it really gets good, y'all. I love how dark it is, how up close and personal the camera is on these two as they talk, while Peter attempts to break Hotch's mind apart. And even though Aaron is drugged, he does manage to stay in control of himself and even gets into Peter's head at one point. And something about the way Hotch laughs only further adds to the creepiness of this scene. It's almost like he really is enjoying this, but we, the audience, can't be sure if he's just playing or if he actually is enjoying this. But one thing I do know is the best part of this whole episode was the back and forth between them. They're kind of the ultimate challenges for each other. Eventually though, Peter does break into Aaron's head, learning that his worst fear is being the cause of the death of his agents.
Where is he?
I shot him. He's down. Morgan!
Now I know what scares you.
No!
Peter manipulates Hotch into thinking that Rossi, which is about to come save him, is actually Mr. Scratch, so that Hotch actually will be the cause of the death of his agents. Fortunately though, Peter underestimates Hotch's ability to stay in control of his own mind, and as soon as Rossi comes through the door, Aaron turns around and shoots at Peter.
Hotch! We need a medic in here! You see things.
Peter ultimately surrendered, which shocks everyone, but this whole encounter started an obsession between the two men. Throughout the course of this show, we've seen a lot of offenders go down by the hands of Aaron Hotchner, but he's had two specific people target him specifically and stalk him. One being George Foyet, the Reaper, and the second being Mr. Scratch. And honestly, of the two, I actually prefer Mr. Scratch more. Lewis became infatuated with Hotch as Hotch became infatuated with him. There's a more nightmarish aspect to the way Mr. Scratch taunted Agent Hotchner, the likes of which we never saw with other agents before. Even from behind bars in a prison cell, he was able to mess with Hotch, causing him to get arrested at gunpoint and then interrogated like he was the psycho.
Why would you believe anything he says?
We didn't. But it got us digging into you.
What about me?
Was your wife killed because of your responsibilities with this job? Yes. Did you question your commitment to the BAU after her murder? Yes.
And how does that connect to this?
Because it was then that you started dismissing procedure.
I did not.
You faked Agent Prentice's death. You rubber-stamped the unjustified shooting by Agent Rossi of the man who killed Jason Gideon, giving him a pass for the same crime you expelled Agent Greenaway for 10 years ago.
Each of those instances was a judgment call.
The Reaper, that was good. All of that was really good. But the whole Scratch versus Hotch storyline was better because, number one, it was longer, it was more drawn out. Number two, it really led to a lot of great episodes. Ultimately though, sadly, we never got to see a final showdown between the two because Scratch crossed the line and started to target Aaron's son. And after what happened with his wife and her being murdered because he couldn't stay away, he wasn't gonna let anything happen to his son Jack. So to protect him, he resigned as unit chief of the BAU and went into witness protection. This was about Jack now. He handed everything over to Emily Prentice. But that still didn't stop Scratch. He continued tormenting the BAU. He played a part in getting Reed arrested and sent to prison. He kidnapped Tara's brother. And honestly, the team was way over their head. They were getting so overwhelmed by this.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm getting tired of losing to this rat-faced son of a bitch. He's not going to take anyone else away from us, not on my watch. Am I clear?
Wow.
Let's go to work.
I don't think there's another antagonist on this show that has continually outsmarted the team at every turn to this point. Hotch had to resign because of this dude. Every time he resurfaced, it was hell to pay. And much how we got that mind torture scene back in season 10 between Lewis and Hotch, we got the same thing when he managed to kidnap Emily, torturing her for answers as to finding out where Hotch is. No episodes that featured Peter Lewis ever disappointed. And even his defeat still left a scar on the BAU, which eventually opened up the door to Linda Barnes dismantling the team. Like, man! All the episodes that featured Peter Lewis would be Mr. Scratch, The Storm, one of my favorite, The Crimson King, Mirror Image, Red Light, and Wheels Up. Guys, what did you think of Peter Lewis? Please let me know down below, because honestly, this is probably my favorite unsub in the entirety of the show. Going back, looking back and rewatching everything, I'm like, man, Peter Lewis was, the whole storyline was really cool. I would have loved to see a final showdown between him and Hotch, and we all know the reason that it really didn't happen behind the scenes, but as far as story go, I do think it makes sense within Hotch's character. I really enjoyed Wheels Up a lot and Lewis's overall character arc across the show. Like I said, every episode that dealt with him was good. Even Even Morgan came back for an episode. Oh man, really great, really great. Guys, I'll be here talking about, you know, other Criminal Mind episodes that I really like, other unsubs that I like, stuff like that. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and be sure to check out my Criminal Minds Evolution reviews. That show is really great too. Really, a lot of great episodes. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.